नमस्ते गुरुजी।
नमस्ते। ओम श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शंकरं लोकशंकरं शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेद विभागिने व्योमवत् व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः। देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। Okay. Yeah, Sajib, go ahead. Unmute yourself. So we'll chant from verse number 46. यावानर्थ उदपाने
यावानर्थ उदपाने
सर्वतः सम्प्लुतोदके
सर्वतः सम्प्लुतोदके
तावान् सर्वेषु वेदेषु
तावान् सर्वेषु वेदेषु
ब्राह्मणस्य विजानतः
ब्राह्मणस्य विजानतः
कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते
कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते
मा फलेषु कदाचन
मा फलेषु कदाचन
मा कर्मफलहेतुर्भूः
मा कर्मफलहेतुर्भूः
मा ते सङ्गोऽस्त्वकर्मणि
मा ते सङ्गोऽस्त्वकर्मणि
योगस्थः कुरु कर्माणि
योगस्थः कुरु कर्माणि
संगं त्यक्त्वा धनञ्जय
संगं त्यक्त्वा धनञ्जय
सिद्ध्यसिद्ध्योः समो भूत्वा
siddha siddhyo samo bhutva
samatvam yoga uchyate.
samatvam yoga uchyate.
So am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. So verse number 48, that is where we were. We spent almost 3 classes on this shloka. We covered a lot of ground. Talking about karma yoga. That's the topic to keep in mind. So in this shloka, we talked about the types of karma. So when we say karma, action. In a Vedic society, what does karma mean? What does action mean? And so we talked about this kamya karma and nitya naimittika karma, prayaschitta karma. Like that we were talking about nishiddha karma, etc. Pratishiddha karma. Then we talked about the purpose of karma yoga. And why you need karma yoga? In order to having recognized the fact that my life is driven primarily by likes and dislikes, which is what comes and bites me, because I am unable to handle things when things don't work out in my favor. And so that bite is removed. So that is a big contribution of our Shastram, which is karma yoga. And how is the bite removed? By invoking this samatva buddhi, samatvam yoga uchyate. So we saw that. So sameness of mind towards results. Very important topic. We covered it. I don't want to repeat it again. And so there Shankaracharya quietly says, give up kamya karma. Kamya karma means you get what you want to lead a normal life, but then your goal cannot be this, and I want this, I want that, I want all the things we generally seek in life. Why? Because the goal is now moksha. And moksha is the goal, and so for that antakarana shuddhi we said, because the facts are made clear, or facts are stated, that the Atma is Purnaha, already stated. The facts are stated. Atma Sarvagataha. Sarvam Khaluidam Brahma. Everything that is here is Brahma, and that Brahma is not separate from me. These facts are stated. But then for me to fully appreciate these facts, I need a mind, and we call that Antakarana Shuddhi. A mind that is not frittered away, a mind that is Atmavan, Nistrai Gunyo Bhava. We saw all that. And so for that Antakarana Shuddhi, Karma Yoga is required. So that Antakarana Shuddhi must be my goal. My goal cannot be I want to build one more house. I want to do this. I want to do that. If I fritter my mind away like this, then what I don't have? Vyavasayatmika buddhihi is not there. Correct? Krishna mentioned Vyavasayatmika buddhihi. So important. That is, in my crosshairs, they show crosshairs. So when we used to see all these movies when we were kids, and the guy is aiming at something and they show the crosshairs, and the tension builds. Tension. So here, in order to reduce tension, we make sure in our crosshairs we have Antakarana Shuddhi in mind. We have moksha in mind. And that is critical here. So being clear about what we are seeking. So then we also said there is a wrong application of Karma Yoga. So I'm kind of summarizing the last 3 classes here today. If you're wondering what's happening. We said there is a wrong application of Karma Yoga. What is the wrong application? Do actions without expecting results. A popular wrong definition. So we don't, that is not possible. You cannot do something without expecting results. You can do something without always expecting that everything will work out in my favor. That is the correct attitude. So, because without expectation, it is impossible to do anything. We saw that. There was a question in the satsang. I could not answer that, and somebody did not follow. So I used the Shastra quotation from the Shastram called Unmattopi na pravartati. Unmattaha api na pravartati. Even a so-called, we call madcap, somebody who's on the street who is simply talking to himself, herself, and constantly talking to people who are coming and going, and to himself he is talking. So the Shastram says even that person whom you think is just randomly talking something, no, that person also has a purpose when he says something, talks something, goes somewhere. Okay, so this is wrong application of karma yoga. We need to let go, we need to be aware of that and let go of that idea. Then, so samatvam we said was one part of the definition of karma yoga, namely when results come, how do I deal with it? The prasada buddhi we talked about. Definition number 2 is kaushalam, which definition we borrowed from verse number 50, shloka number 50. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. Earlier, samatvam yoga uchyate, then yoga karmasu kaushalam. So that definition, that addition completes the definition of karma yoga. And what is kaushalam? Proper interpretation of dharma. Dharma is constantly interpreted. We saw samanya dharma, means speaking the truth, etc. It's samanya dharma, universal dharma. And even though they are universal, they cannot be applied without interpreting. They are not absolute. This is why when you go to the clinic or the hospital, ahimsa paramo dharmaha, but the nurse has to poke a hole in your body, otherwise she can't draw the blood, and you can't say ahimsa and she can't say ahimsa and all that. Ahimsa, yes, she actually uses ahimsa principle. Why she uses ahimsa principle? Hey, for the overall good, you want to get better, and for that I have to draw some blood, and you also willingly extend your hand, correct? Willingly extend your hand. Both are committed to ahimsa only. So we have to be very careful. We use this principle of ahimsa in the wrong places and say all kinds of silly things. And we need, principle of ahimsa is what makes a country protect its borders. Otherwise, there will be large scale himsa. So sometimes you have to shoot people in order to protect dharma, correct? So these things we need to recall. So that kaushalam, yoga karmasu kaushalam. In doing actions, with respect to actions, I follow dharma. And if I don't know how to interpret, I check with others. Because sometimes gray areas are there and it's not clear what I should do, what I should not do. Okay, we covered all that. So that universal dharma is called samanya dharma. And the interpreted dharma is called what? Vishesha dharma. Vishesha dharma. So that we have to, that takes care of definition, the second part of the definition of karma yoga. Also called Ishwararpana Buddhi. We should bring Ishwararpana Buddhi also here. So we invoked this verse number, I think 46 from the 18th chapter, to bring in Ishvara. Our vision of Ishvara, yataf pravrittir bhutanam yena sarvam idam tatam. That Ishvara from which the entire world is created, Srishti, and that Ishvara by which the entire world is pervaded, differentiates Sanatana Dharma, makes it very unique, because by whom the world is pervaded. Ishvara is not up there. Ishvara is there. Every atom, there is Ishvara. We see Ishvara. Every tree, every leaf, we see Ishvara. So we saw that also in the last class. So why we had to do that? Well, we have to see that since the entire creation is not separate from the material from which it is made, and the material is not separate from Ishvara, the creation cannot be separate from Ishvara. Very important revelation. And creation is not separate from Ishvara. When we say, what is part of this creation? Well, time is part of the creation. Space is part of the creation. They're not given. Another unique aspect of Sanatana Dharma. Look at that. The more and more we study Vedanta, the more and more we understand our own culture properly. Until then, it's all confusion. All religions are the same. All this confusion is there. They're not the same. They can never be the same. So look at that. Time is part of the creation. Whereas in other religions, time is given, space is given. God created this world in 7 days, 6 days. All these ideas we don't have. Time is part of the creation. Space had to be created. And so then all the laws, any law that you know of, you've studied, and every law that you don't know, and people are still figuring out, all those laws are also part of the creation, which is not separate from Ishvara. Therefore, dharma, which is also a law, which we don't read in books, but it is somehow picked up by saying, why did you lie? Why did you not submit the homework? The teacher in the school and then parents at home, they drill it to us. You should not do this, you should do that. Constantly set up rules that children don't like at all. And so, but that is how we pick up dharma. That dharma is also part of the creation, and since the creation is not separate from the creator, Ishvara, these words in inverted commas, creator, creation, etc., always. Because in Abrahamic traditions, these words have huge connotations. So we have to put them in inverted commas. Okay, so since the creation is not separate from the creator, and since dharma is part of the creation, dharma is not separate from Ishvara. Very important to remember. Then I begin to recognize even more, since my appreciation of dharma is Ishvara. That's why Rama, we gave the example of Sri Rama. Ramaha Vigrahavan Dharmaha. Then every time I follow dharma, I am worshipping Rama. As simple as that. Without even chanting Sri Rama, Rama, Rameti, Rame, Rame, Manorame, you are worshipping Rama. Because Rama is dharma, dharma is Ishvara. This we covered last class. Okay, very important. And so, therefore, then my duty becomes more and more important. That is why Indian culture is a duty-based culture. Duty, we have duties towards so many children. Of course, parents have duty, and parents have duty towards other people who need help, duty towards the community. Then as they grow old, children have duty towards parents. This duty till we die, this duty comes along with us. So duty-based society. So because the dharma is Ishvara, therefore I can happily do what I'm called upon to do. Happily. There's something I don't like, I may frown a little bit, but still Ishvara's niyama is there. So that is how we look at it. And so this is the vision. This is not simply a statement that is made, because our vision is we understand Ishvara. Long ago, when I first heard Swamiji, he made this statement, which just attracted me to him. He said, for Hindus, God is not simply a matter for belief, God is a matter for understanding. That's it. When I heard that statement, I ran after Swamiji. And you can see how much our rishis have given to us. Okay. So, having said that, now we can begin concluding this shloka. Let's go back to this verse number 48. So it says here what? Yogastha kuru karmani Sangam Tyaktva Dhananjaya. So we did not cover a few words. Sangam Tyaktva we have not covered. Sangam, often translated as attachment. Attachment. So with our understanding of Karma Yoga, we can now see attachment means what? Really going after things, thinking that they are going to make me happy. But now I understand that there is no object in the world that has the property of happiness, that it will somehow, if I possess, I will become happy. There's really no object in the world like that. That is because no object has that property. And therefore, acknowledging that, recognizing that, I do not bet on all these things in the world. Any worldly object, they say worldly object. Perhaps there is a reason for that. The reason is it's a worldly object. It really cannot do anything to you. It can neither hurt you nor it can save you. So I'm not saying you should not do the things. We normally, leading a life, you need things. You have to do what is right. But they don't have the property of Ananda. They cannot help me. That is why all life long we are looking for it and we don't seem to find it. Ananda. So therefore, Sangam Tyaktva. So recognizing that the fundamental nature of these objects are like that, they cannot really hurt me, they cannot really make me happy. I've placed my bets on the wrong things. Recognizing that, and recognizing that when I know I'm going to do everything based on dharma, then I need not be surprised by what I get. I need not be shocked by what I get. I need not be anxious about the outcomes. There may be some anxiety, but that's because of vasana. Vasana means what? Because that's how I'm used to responding and interacting with people, with situations all my life. But that anxiety will go away once I recognize that I've done my best and I'm happy. And I'm happy to accept whatever comes, whether it is in favor of what I want or whether it is opposite of what I want. Therefore, Sangam Tyaktva. Look at that, Sangam. Otherwise, we can't understand attachment properly. Because there is no physically, we are not tethered to anything. So attachment cannot be properly understood unless you understand this. How I bind myself. Karma doesn't bind. Actions don't bind. Results don't bind because they don't have the capacity of binding me. Then what binds me? My wrong perspectives, wrong ideas about myself and the world. And that's what can bind me. So here, Sangam Tyaktva, he says, okay, now look, the main sentence in this shloka 48 is Karmani Kuru. Karmani Kuru. Do karma, do your actions. And so this again reinforces what may be a misconception from the previous shloka. What is the previous shloka? Karmanyeva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Hey, Arjuna, you have full authority over actions, but you don't control the results. In fact, you do not decide the results. Even though you are a factor, you may be an important factor, but you really cannot decide the outcomes. And then ma karma phalahetur bhuhu. Do not consider yourself to be the author of the results. He said that. Therefore, immediately, if I don't control results, I don't control anything, then why should I do? This idea can come. I can remain passive. And so there he said, Mate sangostu akarmani. He finished that. Again here, Kuru karmani. You must do actions. Kuru karmani. How you must do actions? He's saying it here. Yogastha Kuru karmani. Yogastha. Very interesting word. Like grihastha. You all have heard the word grihastha. Right? What is the grihastha? Grihastha. Grihastha. Grihastha ashrama. So griham in Sanskrit means home. And grihe tishtati iti grihastha. One who stays at home, one who maintains a home is a grihastha. And that only that is a householder. That's why this word householder we use in India. I don't know, in America and all, I've not heard that word householder. I think they look at you if you say householder. What is this guy talking about? Householder. So we need to be careful what we say where. But householder means a family person, one who has a family. And that ashrama is called grihastha. So grihe, one who stays with the home. I want to use that translation. Why? Because here yogastha, one who stays with yoga, one who stays with karma yoga, stays with this vision of karma yoga, that person. So yogastha san, you have to put in within brackets, you have to put being a yogastha, being somebody who understands this vision of karma yoga, karmani kuru, do actions, lead your life. And of course kaushalam, so samatva buddhya, with this attitude of samatva buddhi, kaushala buddhya, with this attitude of kaushalam, do what is to be done in any given situation, whether it is a family situation or a community situation or a country situation. There is always a duty for you, and do what is to be done. That is why after all the teaching, Krishna keeps telling him, fight. Why fight? Himsa. No, it's not himsa. It is ahimsa. Appears like himsa, but for the greater good. That we have to keep in mind. Therefore, yogastaha, very important word there. Yogastaha. Karmani kuru. And then what? Sangam tyaktva. Sangam tyaktva. We covered just now. Sangam tyaktva. Giving up this wrong ideas of action and result, and therefore releasing yourself from being bound by your wrong ideas. Because Ishvara is the one that decides everything. So where is the anxiety in what happens? Whatever should happen, will happen, should happen. But your duty is important. You do what is to be done. And you have the ability to change the outcome because you are a factor. You are a factor in the outcome. Therefore, never consider yourself to be incapable. I am not good. I can't make it. No, I'm a failure. Now things don't work out for me. My stars are, in India, we have to invoke stars also. My stars are not aligned properly. Yaya not Shani. Sade Sati. Now we invoke all these things. We were very smart people. When we want to invoke, we don't want to do something, we will give all kinds of reasons. Stars are conspiring against me. Yeah. So let stars conspire. So what? What can you do about it? You have not seen a single star yet, and you are believing in all these stars. Yeah, there are some forces. It's your own prarabdha. My own prarabdha comes in my way. That is acceptable. Because free will is there. And I've used my free will for so many janmas. So it can come in my way. So let me now become smarter, so to speak, and do my actions. Sangam tyaktva. Sangam tyaktva yogastaha san karmani kuru. Correct? So the verb there is kuru. Do. You do. Tvam kuru. So you can add tvam if you want. You. The word you is not there in this shloka. Okay, then what? Hey Dhananjaya. An address to Arjuna. Dhananjaya. Very interesting. Why our commentators will spend time on this word. Why should Krishna use the word Dhananjaya in the shloka? They will analyze this. And so Dhananjaya, Jitna, Jaya is to win. Dhanam is wealth. Dhanam is wealth. Hey, you are somebody who have gained everything that is to be gained. All the wealth you have and more, you have it. And dharma also you have. It's also wealth. You've been dharmic. That is why you are here. and you are invincible, not just because you know how to use the swords and the maces, but even dharma protects you. But then the most important wealth that you are supposed to get, which is the parama purushartha moksha and antakarana shuddhi, you don't have yet. And therefore you strive to get that dhanam. Like that, some commentators write. Can you believe all this? Look at the way they analyze these words. How beautiful it is. And then it continues. Siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva. Keeping success and failure as, dealing with success and failure in a same way, similar way. We discussed that also. Success and failure, how can they be same? The word success means something, failure means the opposite of that. How can you say these two things are same? All lifelong I've been striving for success, and now you're telling me to treat failure and success as imposters. They are same. Yeah, same means what? Hey, it is Ishvara Prasada. Whatever I get is Ishvara Prasada. Therefore, there is really no such thing as failure. I've done my best. How can I fail? Look at this attitude. Very powerful attitude. Imagine you tell your children these things. You're doing your best. You have no choice. And therefore, you leave the rest to Ishvara. Everything is good. You are successful, already successful, because you did what you could do. You did the best. You're already successful. That's it. You tell this child this. Can you imagine how their life will change? They won't worry about all these small things. Everything else becomes small. He is thinking like this. She did that. They did this. The teacher told me that. All this becomes small. So, siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva. Keeping this success and failure, not taking them literally. Samo bhutva. Taking them as identical, Krishna says. Identical, because they are all Ishvara Prasada. And Ishvara is not partial. Unlike some other gods, our God is not partial. Partiality is not possible, because even Ishvara is following his own laws. He cannot violate his laws. Not possible, because the laws are Ishvara. Correct? Therefore, this partiality and all these things doesn't apply here. And so, siddhi siddhyo samo bhutva. Karmani kuru. Go back to karmani kuru. So, you keep karmani kuru at the end. So, how will you translate this? Yogastaha san, keeping the vision of karma yoga. So, yes, Swamiji says, remaining steadfast in yoga. Steadfast means keeping that vision, gaining clarity about this vision. And then what? Hey Dhananjaya, O Arjuna, perform actions, karmani kuru, abandoning attachment. You can put attachment in quotes. Abandoning attachments, sangam tyaktva, and remaining and treating success and failure equally, alike. Look at the consequences of that. If I get elated when I'm successful, when something works in my favor, and then I'm going to get depressed if something does not get in my favor, does not happen to my favor. So it's very obvious nobody wants to be depressed. And therefore, this is the rule. This is the vision, that you have to see Ishvara. Without Ishvara, this vision of Ishvara, this you cannot. You're going to be a yo-yo. Happy now, sad later. Happy now, sad later. This is how life will be. So it's a grand vision that Krishna is telling us. Vision of karma yoga. So you can put a full stop there. And then the last segment is samatvam yoga uchyate. That is the second line in this shloka. So he's saying this evenness of mind is called yoga or karma yoga. This evenness of mind. So you can look at this word, how that word yoga, how loaded it is, and how many meanings it can have depending on the context. And so here it's an attitude. It's the attitude based on a vision. My vision of Ishvara is such that I now have this attitude called Karma Yoga. Okay. All right. We will have a lot of opportunity to review this. So we don't need to have anxiety over, did I really understand this? How am I going to implement this in my life? All these things, you don't worry. Sometimes we have this thinking, right? So the knee-jerk reaction can be there. Attending classes, our parents have always told us, yeah, did you study well for your exams? What did you do? Did homeworks, did you do properly? And this, that. So we are all wired to, this anxiety is there when we hear something. And this is Shastram. It's so dear to us. It's us. The Shastram is us, really speaking. So, but it will become natural to you. And so this is the essence of this shloka. Yogastha kuru karmani. Now Krishna is going to, having talked about karma that is done with the vision of karma yoga, he's going to talk about what if you do karma without that vision. So he's comparing. He's going to compare it with actions done without that vision. Okay, that is the next shloka. So he says that Shankara gives that introduction to the shloka. Kevalam Ishwarartham. For the sake of Ishvara. Keeping Ishvara in mind, my actions are done, and keeping Ishvara in mind, I accept the results of the actions, whatever I've done. So, with respect to that action, then let's see what is the other type of action, namely the actions that I might have been used to doing. Like that he's talking about. So, let's chant number 49. Okay. Ami, go ahead and unmute yourself. Durena Hyavaram Karma Buddhi Yogat Dhananjaya Buddhau Sharanamanvichha Kripanaha Phalahetavaha Durena Hyavaram Karma Buddhi Yoga Dhananjaya Buddhau Sharanamanvichha Kripana Phalahetavaha. Good. So Buddhi Yogat. So there is a word there in the first line, Buddhi Yogat. So Buddhi Yoga. So look at that. Like this, we have different words that we find when we study the Shastra. So we need to know how to interpret this properly. So Buddhi Yoga means, how are you going to say, I never heard of Buddhi Yoga before. I've heard of Karma Yoga. I've mentioned Bhakti Yoga. We talked a little about Jnana Yoga. Suddenly he's introducing Buddhi Yoga word. So here it means Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga. Why? Because he is comparing the actions done with the attitude of Karma Yoga. So therefore, that Buddhi Yoga has to refer to Karma Yoga. Continuity of the topic. Because he's going to say, Buddhi Yogat in comparison to the karma done with karma yoga, okay, Panchami, Sanskrit students, Buddhi yoga, in comparison, correct? Hey Dhananjaya, in comparison to that kind of karma that I've been talking about last few shlokas, Durena hi avaram. Durena hi avaram. So this Durena avaram means far inferior. Far inferior. Indeed, the karma done just for the sake of getting this and getting that, discrete things, is far inferior to the same karma done with karma yoga. Hey Arjuna. Okay. And he says, and then he says, Buddhau Sharanam Anvicha. Sharanam. Sharanam means you seek refuge. Like when it rains, you run to a place, run to a shelter. You seek refuge. Buddhau. In what? In Buddhau. Buddhau means in that karma yoga. In that vision of karma yoga, you seek refuge. You hold on to karma yoga. Buddhau Sharanam Anvicha. And then what? Kripanaha Phalahetavaha. Kripanaha. Where did we encounter Kripanaha? How many of you remember it? Yeah. Sajib, go ahead. How do we?
Karpanya dosha. Karpanya dosha.
Karpanya dosha. Yeah, exactly. And where did we encounter Karpanya dosha?
First chapter.
So it's actually second chapter.
Second chapter.
It's actually second chapter. It is before the teaching began. Right. And so that I think is verse number 27 or something. 7th shloka of this chapter. Karpanya doshopahata svabhavaha prichhami tvam dharma sammuda chetaha. Like that. And Arjuna was telling Krishna, hey, you know, I can't fight. My hands are sweaty and the bow is slipping down from my hands. My hands are shivering and my body is trembling. And then later on he says, Karpanya dosha. Arjuna accepts. I have this, I feel like a, I don't want to use the word coward, but I feel like a miser. Miser. Literal translation of Kripana means miser. We saw all this before. And so, very interesting. Shastram uses this word to refer to people who don't use their minds. Use their minds. So Kripana, miser. Miser is somebody who doesn't use the wealth he or she has. That person is a miser. What must be spent, the money that must be spent at the right time, at the right place, and money is there to spend, so you must spend it. And so the one who is unable to do that is called a miser. This is our common understanding. So here again, Kripanaha, he says, miserly people. Who are the miserly people? Phala hetavaha. Phala hetavaha. Hetu means cause or purpose. Phala is a particular end in mind. Those people who do karma purely to get this or get that and get this and tomorrow do that and tomorrow do this, get. Doing karma just to get things, which anybody does anyway. Even an animal does that. So the Shastram says, Krishna says, such people who simply do things without a proper attitude are misers. Why? Because they've been given a buddhi, they've been given a mind. And mind is the wealth of a human being. We saw that before. How did we see it? Ahara nidra bhaya maitunancha samanya medat pasubis samana naraha ranam. So between animals and human beings, what are common? Ahara, food, nidra, sleep, bhaya, fear, and Maithunam, procreation, reproduction, having offspring is common. Then what is difference between animals and humans? Buddhihi tesham adhiko visheshaha. Buddhihi dharmo hi tesham. Intellect, dharma. That is the difference. And without dharma, the human being is not different from the animal. Buddhya vihinaha pashubhis samanaha. Very bold statement. Without that buddhi, the human being is no different than the animal. So that buddhi has to be used. It's the wealth of the human being. And a miser is one who does not use that wealth. Which wealth? The wealth of the buddhi, of the intellect. So kripanaha. So Krishna is not shy about using it. Krishna is not shy about using the same word that was used by the Upanishad. Gargi, Yajnavalkya is telling Gargi, the lady who was questioning Yajnavalkya, challenging him in the court. And there Yajnavalkya responds in one of the places. Yova etadaksharam Gargi aviditva asman lokat preti. Don't worry about the Sanskrit words. I'm just saying it for my sake, actually. One who leaves this world without knowing these important facts, aviditva, without knowing these important facts, sakripana, that person is called a miser. So Brihadaranyaka Upanishad introduces this word which Krishna uses here. Sorry, phone was ringing here. So, at least the miser's money, when the miser passes away, that money will go to somebody. Either it will go to the state or it will go to whoever he has written in the will. It can be used. But this buddhi, the wealth of the buddhi, what happens after death? Useless. Doesn't go to anybody. So, better use it now. Only you can use your buddhi. So, look at the way our people think when they talk about these words. Every word they spend so much time. And there are commentaries on the Bhagavad Gita. Shankara's commentary we are studying. And Shankara's commentary, there are other commentators. Anandagiri comments on Shankaracharya. And Ramaraya Kavi talks about Shankaracharya's commentary, word after word. So one word in the Bhagavad Gita, 5 words, 10 words written by Adi Shankaracharya, and the commentator will add more to elaborate on what Shankaracharya is saying. So, very interesting. Anyway, so therefore, take to Karma Yoga. That is the message. Yogastaha san karmani kuru. Karma Yoga, highlighting Karma Yoga here. So how do you translate this? Literal translation will be, action is therefore far inferior. So within brackets, you must say action based on purely desire. Purely desire. I want it, therefore I will do it. So that is inferior, Krishna is saying. So durena hi avaram karma. Action based purely on desire is therefore far inferior. Inferior to what? To that performed with the proper attitude of karma yoga. Buddhi yogat Dhananjaya. Okay, action based purely on desire is therefore far inferior to that performed with the proper attitude of karma yoga. Then what? Seek refuge in this Buddhi yoga, karma yoga. Buddhau sharanam anvicha. Seek refuge in this karma yoga. Full stop. Those who perform action only for results, phala hetavaha, those who perform action only for specific results, are misers, kripanaha. So the last two words form one sentence. Kripanaha, phala hetavaha, kripanaha bhavanti. That's the way to read that last two words. Good. So now Krishna is going to continue this discussion and talking a little more about karma yoga, and we have already borrowed one word from this next shloka, kaushalam, and so let's see what this shloka is, number 50. Okay, Sharada from Madurai, go ahead and unmute yourself. Yeah.
Okay.
Buddhi yukto
Buddhi yukto
jahati hai
jahati hai
ubhe
ubhe
sukruta dushkrute
sukruta dushkrute
tasmat
tasmat
yogaya yujyasva.
yogaya yujyasva
Yogaha
yogah
karmasu kaushalam
karmasu kaushalam
buddhi yukto jahati hai
buddhi yukto jahati hai
ubhe sukrita dushkrute
ubhe sukruta dushkrute
tasmad yogaya yujyasva.
Tasmad yogaya yujyasva
Yoga karmasu kaushalam.
yoga karmasu kaushalam.
Yeah. So the karma yogi is what happens to the person who leads a life with the attitude of karma yoga. That is described here. So buddhi yuktaha jahati. That is the main sentence. Buddhi yuktaha jahati. Buddhi yuktaha means what? One who is endowed with this attitude of karma yoga. Yuktaha. The word yuktaha also comes from the same word yuj, which gives us yoga. Yoga, yuktaha. All that is coming from the same root in Sanskrit, which has many meanings. So buddhi yuktaha, one who is endowed, one who is caught on to karma yoga, that person is called buddhi yuktaha. Karma yoga yuktaha. Now, jahati. Jahati means gives up. Gives up. Gives up what? Sukrita dushkrite. Very interesting words are used. Sukrita dushkrite. Sukritam, that which is done well. Sukritam. Dushkritam, that which is not done well. That's the literal meaning of these two words. But here it means papam and punyam. Papam and punyam. Because what is done well is going to get me punyam according to the Shastram. And what is not done well means not in terms of efficiency, not done what I should have done, not done in keeping with dharma. Okay, that is going to give me papam, and therefore sukrita dushkrite, punya pape. Okay, punya pape. Ubhe is a interesting word in Sanskrit, which means both. both punyam and papam. Both punyam and papam. So this person who is endowed with karma yoga gives up both punyam and papam. That's what it says. So we need to. So it's a statement that has to be understood. How it's what is the implication of this statement? We need to see that. So we will see that in the next class. And then tasmad yogaya yujyasva yoga karmasu kaushalam. Yoga karmasu kaushalam, we've already seen. Yoga is discretion in action. Yoga is proper interpretation of the situation. An action governed by my proper interpretation of situations, which is so important, which is not written in any book. That is kaushalam. Okay, good. So with that, we will conclude today. Om swasti prajabhyah paripalayantam nyayena margena mahim mahishaha go brahmanebhyah shubhamastu nityam loka samasta sukhino bhavantu kale varshatu parjanyah prithvi sasya shalini desho yam kshobarahitah brahmana santu nirbhayah. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet, asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityor ma amritangamaya. Om purnamadah purnamidam purnat purnamudachyate purnasya purnamadaya purnamevavashishyate. Om shanti shanti shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.